You know what's wild about this exact moment? As you're watching this, there's a very real chance you've already healed from something that once shattered you and you haven't even noticed it yet. Think about that. You might still believe you're broken, wounded, carrying the same old pain, while deep inside, your psyche has quietly been repairing itself, layer by layer, without making a single sound. Carl Jung saw this long before modern psychology caught up. He knew that real healing doesn't arrive with celebration or a drum roll. It doesn't send you a message saying, "Congratulations, you're whole again." Actual inner recovery is subtle. It's like watching a tree grow. You don't notice anything day to day, but suddenly one afternoon you look up and realize, when did I become this strong? And that's what I want to show you over the next 50 minutes, that you're far more healed than your conscious mind thinks. I'm going to reveal the signs, the ones most people overlook, that prove your psyche has been rebuilding you from the inside out. But let me be clear, this isn't one of those soft, feel-good videos that tells you everything is fine even if it isn't. This goes deeper into the journey Jung called individuation, the path from fragmentation to inner unity, from emotional chaos to psychological clarity. Stay with me, because I'm going to walk you through 7 unmistakable indicators that this process has already begun inside you. 7 pieces of evidence that you've been transforming, even during times when you thought you were falling apart. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Your conscious mind is always the last to realize that you've healed. Before we go further, if this resonates with you, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. It helps this message reach more people who might need it, just like you. Now, let's go on to the first big misunderstanding. Most people imagine healing as a straight line. You're hurt, you work on yourself, you start improving. Simple. But that's just not how the psyche works. Jung knew that the mind isn't a machine with broken parts that you swap out. It's more like a complex ecosystem filled with invisible processes quietly shifting and adapting, reorganizing beneath the surface. Think about this. Can you remember the exact day you stopped being terrified of something? Probably not. Maybe public speaking once froze you in panic, and then one day someone asked you to talk, and you just did it. No shaking, no dread, no mental meltdown like before. But you can't pinpoint when that change occurred. That's how genuine healing works. Quietly, gradually, without dramatic turning points. This is why so many people fail to realize that they've already grown. They look for lightning bolt breakthroughs, for magical moments that scream, "You're healed." Meanwhile, the transformation has been happening inside them for years without fanfare. I see this constantly. People who have done years of therapy, inner work, shadow work, self-reflection, and yet they still describe themselves as not healed yet. But if you observe their behavior, their relationships, the way they respond to life, they are not the same person they were 5 years ago. The growth is obvious. They're just looking in the wrong places. So today, I'm giving you a new lens, a way to see what Jung actually meant by healing. It's not about becoming perfect or pure or endlessly positive. Jung rejected all of that. He believed that trying to become the ideal version of yourself, erasing your anger, hiding your selfishness, pretending you're above human flaws, isn't healing. It's repression disguised as spirituality. What happens with all the parts of yourself that you try to delete? They don't disappear. They slide into the shadow, the unconscious basement where everything you reject about yourself gets stored. And the more you refuse to look at those parts, the stronger they grow. That's why people who are the most judgmental are often wrestling with the biggest shadows. The one who screams about aggression usually can't face their own anger. The one who condemns others' desires is scared of their own. The one obsessed with morality often avoids their own darker impulses. The radical solution of Jung was this. Healing does not mean becoming good. It means becoming whole. Wholeness, not perfection. Embracing the full spectrum of who you are, not just the pleasing parts. Light and shadow, strength and weakness, clarity and confusion, all of it. He said it so simply, yet powerfully. I would rather be whole than good. He was not granting license to be destructive, but rather pointing to the truth that within every human psyche there are contradictions and darkness, and wholeness means acknowledging it instead of pretending that it doesn't exist. But individuation is a lifelong process, and it isn't something you ever really finish. It's something you grow through. But it does leave signs, and today we're looking at 7 of them. Not goals to chase, but natural byproducts of inner transformation. Sign number 1, you can be alone without feeling lonely. Not alone with your phone or distractions, alone with your real thoughts. Most people avoid their inner world like a haunted house. The moment there's silence, they reach for noise. They're terrified of what will surface when they sit with themselves. But once you begin to integrate your shadow, once you start acknowledging those parts of yourself you've been running from, solitude ceases to be a threat. You are not afraid of your mind anymore. You've met the stranger inside you, and they're not so scary. You can sit in stillness and feel calm, even content. That's a huge sign of healing. Sign number 2, the past no longer grabs you by the throat. Something that once triggered an emotional storm barely causes a ripple. You notice it, you feel a tiny tug, and then it fades. Why? Because the old wound that used to control your reactions has been integrated. You're no longer reacting to something from 10 years ago. You're responding to what's actually happening now. That's healing. Sign number 3, you can hold contradictions without falling apart. You can love someone and get irritated by them. You can feel grateful and exhausted at the same time. You can be confident in one area and insecure in another. Most people cannot handle paradox. They want clear categories. But an integrated psyche understands that humans are complex. When you stop forcing yourself into binaries, you've matured psychologically. Sign 4, other people's projections no longer define you. You can feel someone misunderstanding you and not automatically blame yourself. You can sense when someone is projecting their unresolved issues onto you, and instead of absorbing it, you think, that's theirs, not mine. This is boundary mastery, not walls, but clarity. Sign 5, your dreams change. Jung believed that dreams are the voice of the unconscious. When your inner world is in turmoil, your dreams reflect that with chaos, fear, or repetition. But as healing occurs, your dreams evolve. The tone softens, the themes change. You may notice dreams of crossing bridges, moving forward, exploring new rooms, symbolic signs of transformation. Sign number 6, you stop fighting yourself. You can admit the parts of you that used to bring shame. You can say, yes, sometimes I'm jealous or petty or angry, and it doesn't destroy your self-worth. You recognize it as human. And the very qualities you suppressed become strengths once integrated. Anger becomes boundaries, selfishness becomes self-care, assertiveness becomes confidence. Sign number 7 is the culmination of all of this. But before we do, understand this. If even one of these signs resonates with you, you're healing more deeply and more quietly than you realize. You are growing in ways that your conscious mind hasn't caught up to yet. And your psyche, your deeper self, has been leading you here all along.